We always try and catch our percussionists out by giving them an extra page of music. And tonight it worked. Sorry, Andrew. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're pleased you decided to stay for the second half. That's a real encouragement to us. Thank you. And I hope you've enjoyed the time of sharing and the fellowship that we had during the interval. So we're thinking about our worship. And sometimes we need to try and do something new or something different, like trying to master, in a brass band context, trying to master a half shuffle style. That's what that was supposed to be. Don't know whether that means anything to any of you, but there we are. And sometimes we need to take old things and try and do them a different way, a new way. And we're going to do that now. Some of you will remember the Salvation Army musicals, the John Gowans, John Larson musicals, going all the way back to the 60s. And every time a musical came out, at least not long after a musical came out, Ray Steadman Allen would do an arrangement of some of the tunes from those musicals. And one of those arrangements is his selection from the musical Spirit. And it's a good piece of music. When it was first published, lots of bands really wanted to play it and did play it. I looked at the tunes in this, and they're essentially show tunes. And I thought, how would the West End treat these? What would it sound like if these melodies ended up on a West End stage? And so we've had a little bit of a different look at something. And maybe it's a reminder for us to think in terms of our worship, whether we need to think about doing something a different way or a new way. But they're fantastic melodies. They're really strong tunes. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy this arrangement by Ray Steadman Allen of Spirit. Thank you. I told you they were good tunes, and they are. Joe, we're really looking forward to hearing the Songsters again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe, and thank you, Songsters, for enhancing our evening together. We're so grateful that you were willing to take part and able to take part. Thank you. And your song choice fits in rather nicely with what we're about to play, I Go to the Rock. sometimes when in our worship we need to be refreshed. We can't always go 100 miles an hour and give everything all the time. And sometimes we just need to be refreshed. And so for those of you who are die-hard Salvation Army brass bandos and really want to hear an old-fashioned piece of music, here is one, Eric Ball's variations on the Old Wells. And the words talk about, go back to the old wells where the waters are sweet. And I can never remember the rest of them. I know there's any number of retired officers here who will quote the rest of the verse. And no. I don't want it. I nearly fell into that trap last time because someone quoted them and then expected to conduct the band. And we're not having that. But go back to the old wells where the water is sweet. So if you're feeling exhausted in your worship, in your witness, in your whatever it is you're doing for God, just take the opportunity to get some refreshment. Go back to the old wells. And if we go back to the old wells and get refreshed, it makes us ready to try something new, doesn't it? We're re-energized. We want to do something new. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to play something which is new. This is the first time we've played it. Well, it's not the first time we've played it. Obviously, we've rehearsed it. But it's the first time we've played it for anyone to listen to. And this is a piece of music by a Canadian Salvationist, retired Salvation Army officer, Kenneth Smith. It's called Light Song, and it features the tune Jesus is My Light and Song, and also Walking in the Light. So this is exciting music. It's a new take on two old tunes. It's exciting music. I think you'll enjoy Light Song.
Well, good evening to you. It's a privilege for me to just take a few moments to share a thought or two with you this evening. This is a statement that's been going through my mind for a couple of weeks now. I'm going to share it with you. People of faith just see things differently. People of faith just see things differently. I don't mean they're living in an illusionary world. They see what's in front of them. They see what the secularist sees. They read history. They see what's on the news. They open their eyes and they see what's going on in the world. But people of faith see more than that. They see God's purpose. They see God's purpose. A few weeks ago, I was getting ready for bed one evening, and I took my glasses off and rested them on the bedside table, just when my wife, Kay, came into the room, and she said, "Oh, Andy," she said, "without your glasses on, you look every bit as young and as handsome as the day I first met you." I said, "Kay, without my glasses on, you look every bit as young and lovely." People see things differently. People of faith just see things differently. Many of the prophets throughout the Old Testament, sometimes in desperate situations, saw things differently. Fast forward to the New Testament. Mary and Joseph, having been visited by God's messenger, saw things differently. And the Apostle Paul, following his meeting with the risen Christ, saw things differently. People of faith just see things differently. For the last year or so, I've been working for YMCA Norfolk, and one of their stated values is being hope-filled. One of their stated values is being hope-filled. And you know, I think being hope-filled is what helped those Old Testament prophets to see things differently. I think it was being hope-filled that enabled Mary and Joseph and the Apostle Paul to see things differently. So where do we find this hope? In a few weeks' time, we'll be celebrating Easter, where Jesus deals with his enemies not by using arms, but by taking upon himself on the cross the sins of the world, the cruelty and the hatred, and then utters words of forgiveness. "Father, forgive them. They know not what they do." He did that for you, and he did that for me. That gives us hope. That gives us a glimpse of God's plan and purpose, and that helps us to see things differently. We're not illusionary. We see what's in front of us. We see what's going on in the world. But because of Easter, we have hope. And because of Easter, we can see things differently. God bless you.
So we're here at the last item in the programme. And a love that will not let us go demands some sort of response. Now, I said at the beginning of the evening, I don't know why you're here. I hope maybe for some of you at least it's become clear why you were meant to be here tonight. But we're going to finish with a piece of music that is a Salvation Army classic, yes. Fantastic music, yes. But it has a challenge for each one of us. Leslie Condon's The Call of the Righteous. And many of you will know the piece of music, and it features that old hymn, "When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there." And it's centered around the words of the first verse, and I've got them written down somewhere. "When the trumpet of the Lord shall sound, and time shall be no more, and the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair, and the saved of earth shall gather over on the other shore. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there." And so you will hear the trumpet of the Lord. You will hear the procession of the saved of earth as they gather on the other side. Even a little reference to the last post as well, to signify that there's, something, death is involved. Yeah, and you'll hear all of that, and then in a beautiful middle section, Leslie Condon conjures up the breaking of dawn, eternal, bright, and fair. And then he goes on to a really quite intense, fiery end section, which starts with the song, "Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Have you been to Jesus for the cleansing power?" Now, we don't sing those sorts of words anymore in the Salvation Army, and whether it's a good thing or not, it doesn't really matter. But the point is, the composer is asking us, if you want to be part of that procession, what do you need to do to make sure that happens? Now, for some of you, that might be a really pertinent question just now. And if it is, I hope us playing this gives you a chance to reflect on that. Because really, when the roll is called up yonder, do you want to be there? I'll leave you to ponder on that as we play The Call of the Righteous.
I've got a very easy job this evening, and that's to say thank you. Thank you to the band. Your music shone this evening. It lit up this room. Fantastic music played to the glory of God. I wonder what was the moment of blessing for you. Do go away and talk about it. Do go away and talk about how you were blessed this evening by Jesus' music. Thank you, Matthew, for your cornet solo. Your beautiful cornet tone shone through it. Thank you, Harry, for your brilliance on the euphonium. A blizzard of notes, some of them still floating about the hall as we speak. Thank you to our songsters for your music, your songs of praise. And thank you all for coming along this evening. But most of all, thank you to God and King for the blessings that he has bestowed upon us this evening. I share in a benediction with you. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen.
Do we have time for one more? Okay, then. You see, it only took one person to say yes. I'm sorry. If you were thinking no, I apologise.